All right, so we're going to be looking at the new 7 test ships that are entering on the test server. These ships are going to be going into the main server for testing starting in patch 15.7, which will be in August. Also on the test server right now is also the new anti-air mechanics you guys can test for yourselves, as well as the new holiday event, which also has hinted at the fact that the New Jersey is going to be in the holiday convoy event as well. So you're going to be able to get it at some point in the holiday convoy event later in the year. It's not going to be in the intro of the event, but it'll be in at some point later in the event itself. But yes, but first, all the test ships I'm going to be showcasing today are currently subject to change. So all the stats that we're talking about today are going to be subject to change as well. So let's get started. We have the Tōgasa, which is a tier 10 Japanese battleship. We have the Respublika, which is the Soviet tier 9 battleship. It's currently in testing here. And of course, we're going to be spending all the time on each of them, like, just showcasing them one by one. We have the, how do you say this? Tréville?
Latouche-Tréville.
Yeah, okay. We have the Spezia. We have the Taejong. Very nice.
Taejong.
I'm going to butcher every name. My apologies. We have the PH. I'm just going to call it the PH. And then we have the Pérez. The Pérez is the ship that they are currently testing the new consumable gimmick on, where it has the 3 support consumables, where it's able to drop these consumables or these heals. It has heals, increasing DPM of ships, and other features as well, which we'll be going over all of them today. So let's get started with the Tōgasa. So the Tōgasa is like I said before, the tier 10 Japanese battleship. Armor here, 25mm bow with a 25mm aft. A little armor plating at the back here, and an armor section on the side of 292. It has a slight turtleback, which is nice. It's a pretty nice one. But the citadel is slightly... Is it slightly above water? No, it's not. So the turtleback does help it not get citadeled. But again, you don't want to show too much side, or you'll still take a giant beating. Now, the ship itself, let's just take a look at it here real quick. The ship does look very nice, by the way. Very nice design. It's got a lot of guns on there, too. This is definitely a new model as well, which we all love, by the way. We love new models. Look very nice. Okay. So, survivability, it has 68,300 HP, which is pretty low for a tier 10 battleship. Pretty low. Torpedo detection is 25%. In its guns, it has 15 310mm guns on this thing, which are the Yoshino guns. Essentially, it has 15 Yoshino guns. So if you like playing Yoshino, you want a battleship version, that's what this is. It's a battleship version of Yoshino from the looks of it. It does have modified shells as well as one of its gimmicks, where you're able to have extra AP shell penetration, but it makes your reload 56% longer. So you want better pen, you get longer reload. The base reload of this thing is 23 seconds as of now. It is subject to change. Secondaries are, as of now, are definitely not worth putting into at all. So, yeah. 7.3 kilometers is definitely not the best. Yeah, with its armor too, not a good sign. Torpedoes are 12 kilometers. You have 4 on each side. Very hard hitting as well. So for the tier, they're pretty good. Airstrikes are 11 kilometers, which is good. Anti-air defense. Let's see, what skills you get. You get a DCP, you get a heal, a spotter, or fighter. So anti-air is going to be okay.
It's the usual, not really great.
Yeah, it's not like, The speed on it is 29.5 knots. It's average for the tier.
29 knots?
Yeah, 29.5, yeah.
That's surprisingly slow.
Yeah, it is. 880 turning race as well. That's okay for the tier as well. That's okay. It's pretty nice. The rudder shift is 15.9 seconds. Oh, that is slow. That's a very bad, that's a very below average. Concealment's 15.4 kilometers as well. Ooh. Yeah, this thing is definitely meant to be more like, from what the stats look like, it's legit just feels like a bigger Yoshino, just a battleship version. So it looks like it's just if you like playing longer distance, like farming with AP and HE, then it feels like this ship would definitely be the ship style for you as of now. But again, it is subject to change. But what are your thoughts on it from the stats?
So taking a look at the initial stats, it's probably going to be the worst survivability of all battleships in the game so far.
Ooh.
You don't have increased acceleration, you don't have improved heal, you have 25mm bow and stern.
Yep.
And let me double check the armor here. Your extremity armors are also terrible, 32mm deck.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you are the most fragile battleship at tier 10. With the current stats, and with 29.5 knot top speed, yeah, you're gonna go down very quickly if you get caught out of position. What is the best concealment you can run on it?
The best concealment is, I'll just run that real quick. It's probably gonna be like 13 something, but I'll just double check.
That's, yeah, I'll do it. I'll double check as
Yeah,
well.
it's 12.5.
That's basically cruiser level.
Yeah.
That's like essentially Yoshino. That's not bad.
It just feels like a battleship version of Yoshino. More guns, slightly bigger.
That being said, 12.6 is not, it's like relatively good by battleship standards, but it's the same as Yoshino's. Is how good is it actually? But as you said, it's basically a battleship version of Yoshino. The Citadel looks a lot better protected. You get more guns, of course, and then you have the funny F key that improves your AP shells. AP shells only right now.
Yep.
And that's kind of a big problem. That could be a useful gimmick, but you're expected to throw a lot of HE in this ship. Switching to AP does let you punish broadsides better, but I don't know how much value you'll actually get out of it, given that the ship is so fragile.
Yep. It does have a good fire chance, though. 27%, 5100 damage for the HE, and 52mm of pen for the HE is really good for a 23-second reload. And that's just base. You can build into it more as well. So it can be a really good long-distance farmer. But up close, it's definitely not going to be a very good ship, as of now with the stats.
Yeah, you don't want to be up close at all, especially with that armor scheme. The AP could be useful if you get close, but the punishing reload means you really have to make that count. And AP shells are not known for being the most reliable.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, it was still, what dispersion is it using? That's another big thing.
I am not sure. It could be cruiser dispersion.
It shouldn't be cruiser dispersion. I'd expect something like bungo at best. Without spotter plane, of course.
Yeah.
The torpedoes is torpedoes is like almost nothing on this ship. It goes out to 12 kilometers, so good luck hitting anything while staying safe. You can't stealth torp in it, and yeah, basically these torpedoes are very niche at best. You don't want to YOLO torp with it because your armor sucks for that. You can't stealth torp with it, so what does that leave you?
Just guns, so longer distance farming, so just do that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We have the Soviet Tier 9 Respublika. Yeah, this one has a really cool looking superstructure. I like the way the front looks. That looks...
It kind of... They basically really just flatten the entire ship.
I like the way it looks. I like this. I like the superstructure design for like the tower, the front. I like the way it looks. So let's look at the armor.
It just looks funny. It's like the Smashburger version of the battleship. Just smash it down.
So it's got 32mm bow. Deck armor is 40. Rear is also 32. Side plating is 32. Armor plating is 330. 180. Let's see. So it does not have a turtle back. Citadel is above water. You gotta be careful of that. Yeah, you gotta be careful of that. Let's just take a look at the ship as a whole. So this is the ship. Oh, wow. It's got a quad turret at the back. Okay. Yeah. So it's got a total of 10 guns. Okay. Very interesting. I like the way it looks, but that big side, though... I mean, you could technically play it kind of like you can use that big side, though, to ricochet angles, though. Like, if you show flat broadside, you're going to get cooked. But you can use that armor to really ricochet a lot of shells with that. So it could do really well. And the gun angles for the front do look pretty nice. So you could do like a nice kiting position with it and kind of do a good thing that way. But let's take a look at the actual survivability. So it's 75,900 HP with a 35% torpedo protection. The torpedo protection is good for the it's pretty all right for the tier. Equipment wise, let's see. Though. Yeah, so you have let's see. DCP is 15 seconds. Heal fighter, so pretty normal. You get a combat instruction though.
Fast healer party.
Oh yeah, it does fast. Oh yeah, that is good. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does have a fast cooldown on the heal. That's actually really nice. It does get a combat instruction where per 1,000 potential damage it takes, it gets 0.2%. And for every shell hit on an enemy is 2.5%. And it gives you plus 25% AP shell damage, and it gives you 90% preparation cooldown time. Ooh!
You need to hit the enemy 40 times in order to charge up the combat instructions, minus how much potential damage you take in return.
That looks pretty nice, though. Like, I like that. It adds it for 10 seconds, too. So if you time it really good, it's going to be really nice.
It basically says 1 salvo, that's it.
Yep. Now, for the main guns, you get 406mm guns. Do they have any special characteristics for the shells at all, or no?
None that was mentioned.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, it should be very similar, if not the same, as the Soyuz.
So it has...
hold on. Actually, hold on. Nope. Her main battery guns are actually similar to North Carolina. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So North Carolina guns.
Wargaming describes this closer to North Carolina guns.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, so decent damage for the HE, decent damage for the AP. AP shells are a lot slower since they are similar to North Cals. So overall, it's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with that. The dispersion looks a little bit... Yeah, secondaries are no-go. Distance isn't that good on them. And yeah, so no-go for the secondaries. Range is 17.6, which kind of makes it where, yeah, you're more of a closer range ship. So if you get up here, it's going to be a little bit painful. Let's look at the airstrikes. You get 10-kilometer range for the ASW. Anti-air looks... okay, 5.8 kilometers. Maneuverability is 31 knots. That's good for the tier, so that's not bad. 140-meter turning radius, though, isn't like that's not bad either. Rudder shift time is 14.3, which is okay.
That's really good for a battleship.
It is, and the concealment is 17.3. So your concealment fully built. 14. Yeah, 14 when it's fully built. So.
Black.
It's going to be, it seems like it's more of like a tanker where it's able to sit bow, like not bow in, but more in like a kiting angle where you're able to use all of your guns. It seems like what it's able to do and use that big side to bait people to use AP on it.
So the concealment's actually pretty bad. It's like tier 10 battleship levels of concealment, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Survivability, my mistake earlier, it's actually fairly good for the tier.
Yeah, for tier 9, it's good. For tier 9, it's good. If it was a tier 10, terrible. But for tier 9, the amount of HP and torpedo protection is good. So I could see it you building into Superintendent and the other skill that allows you to get the extra heal, the improved repair party readiness. You build both of those, so you're able to get a maximum of about like 6 heals. And that would really make you a lot tankier as well in this thing. Maybe building into damage control party as well to make the damage control party longer, since if you are able to get the combat instruction over and over again, you can essentially just never be on fire. You can just keep having the cooldown really fast, which is really good.
I highly doubt you can charge up combat instructions quickly, though. So you have to hit the enemy with a main battery shell. You need 40 hits. That's a minimum of 4 salvos.
Well, again, you also have to do potential damage too. So essentially, per 5,000 damage potential, you get 1%. So you take 100,000. You take 100,000 potential damage. You get 20%, right? So you go off of that math. It adds up pretty quickly because you're able to tank a lot. Like you're able to tank and shoot a lot at the same time when you're doing that. So it's like a cascading effect. So if you're able to tank, not like rush in, but if you're in a spot where you're able to like angle yourself, you can take a lot of damage really quickly.
That's not reliable though. If it was constant airstrikes or 3 Minotaurs shooting at you, then it would recharge pretty quickly. But I don't think you're going to get like 1. You're essentially going to be limited to 1 AP salvo per engagement.
Well, again,
maybe 2 if you somehow if it somehow drags
the main gimmick of it is the reduction in its consumables. Don't look at it as like the AP shell increase. Like, yeah, that's nice, but its main gimmick is the preparation time and cooldown of its consumables. And the action time is only active for 10 seconds, so it's able to go through that faster. Not faster, but it's able to keep reactivating or refarming it over and over again.
I don't think you're going to get more than one combat instructions activations per combat though. Or maybe two if it goes on for a very long time.
I think with the number of heals you're gonna get way more than 2. So we'll just have to see once it goes out of testing. So we'll have to see.
Also as a side note, the combat instructions minus 90% is great. Your heal party already comes off cooldown after 40 seconds, so it technically doesn't synergize as well.
Yeah, it's really meant for it's meant to not have fires on you. That's the main purpose of why it's 90%. It's gonna make it where you're just not gonna be. You're able to not be on fire. You can damage control a fire, and then you can have the F key ready. And then when the DCP is then on cooldown, you click the F key, and then you have your DCP back in 8 seconds, and you can repeat the process over and over again. So we'll just have to see how it does so far. I'm excited to see how it does.
Other players, I think, are just going to use it for the AP shell damage because plus 25% is nothing to scoff at.
And again, that's
it's pretty versatile.
Yeah. Again, it's a unique combat instruction. You can do it for either or.
Yeah, depending on the situation. Usually, you'll have to pick one or the other, so it depends on how the battle is unfolding.
All right, so let's go to the next one then. So the next one is the Tier 10 French cruiser.
Latouche-Tréville.
I'm not even gonna try saying that, but yeah, this is what the ship looks like.
I will butcher it for you.
All right, cool. All right, so this is the way it looks. Very nice. Very nice hull. Very nice. A lot of Colbert guns on this thing. Are those Colbert guns on this thing or no?
The secondaries?
Yeah, they look kind of French. They look like Colbert, or is that Marceau?
That looks Colbert.
25 millimeter bow, 25 millimeter aft. Side armor is 32. Deck is 38. 180 millimeter armor for the Citadel protection. It does have a turtleback. Ooh, it's got a turtleback. Okay, so it'll help make it not get a Citadel as much. Citadel is at waterline. Okay. Artillery. Let's see. There's the survivability stuff. There it is. 66,800 HP, 31% torpedo protection. That's a lot of HP for a tier 10 cruiser. 66,800, that's a lot. That's like Stalingrad level. That's a lot of HP. And good torpedo protection too for a tier 10 cruiser. That's a lot too. That's like battleship level of torpedo protection.
So Marseille is at 67,000. 66,800 is just below Marseille for the Tréville, which is still really good though.
Yeah, so this ship, it gets damage control party, it gets hydro, or the new DFAA, which is the auxiliary and torpedo weaponry coordination. It gets a 20% engine boost. Ooh, a nice heal. It gets a 8-kilometer ASW. It gets a, let's see, 9-kilometer torpedoes. Nice. And it gets a heavy secondary barrage combat instruction. So for this one, if you hit an enemy with a main battery shell, it gets 8% per hit. So it takes about 13 shells to be able to get its combat instruction. And for this one, it has a secondary battery reload of 70%, so faster reload. Dispersion is 60%. When secondary battery HE shell pen is 60% more, with an action time of 60 seconds. Jesus, okay. Woo! That is not hard to get, and these secondaries are all over the place. What's the reload on these secondaries? Let me take a look. It's 4 seconds. So
4 seconds base.
Yeah, so you can build on them too a little bit, not much, but yeah, that looks really spicy. 21 millimeters of pen to start off, plus 60% would go above 32, which is a really good farming mark. 27 seconds is for the reload of the guns. This thing kind of seems like a more souped up Le Havre.
It is.
That's what it's what it feels like. It feels like a Le Havre, but a tier 10 version of it.
With fancy combat instructions. Yep, pretty much I agree with you completely. You even get a little torpedoes too.
Yeah, this is looking really good. I'm excited for this one.
So another thing I saw, look at the amount of consumables.
Oh yeah, I did already.
Yeah. It's for some reason you start with 1 extra, and also the repair party has a 60-second cooldown as opposed to typical 80.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's gonna be spicy.
definitely meant to be more of a brawling cruiser, like kind of like a Le Havre.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so let's see. Going off of their main guns, they are 305s, 27-second reload. HE is 4250 for the damage, 25% fire chance, 51 millimeters of pen for it. AP is 8700 damage, shell speed 870. So the shells are pretty quick. They're not like super fast, but they're pretty good for the tier.
It almost reminds me of the Leon guns, or the Picarde.
Yeah, also the gun range is 20.1 kilometers. That's a lot of gun range too. So it's very forgiving on that range, which I'm happy about. So very nice.
20, that's pretty good, but hopefully you won't be using all of that range though.
It does allow you to farm the combat instruction early before you get into so you can farm it at a distance and then go dark, push in, and then push in using that combat instruction.
Definitely. You're basically guaranteed to have combat instructions before you start the fight.
Yep, which is very important. Torpedoes, 85-second reload. They're definitely meant more for broad, like as you can see there right here on the side. They're definitely meant for more if you're doing a drive-by. You get 3 per side for the torpedoes, about 15,000 damage, and they're slower torps too. Yeah, they're definitely meant for drive-buying. 9-kilometer range, yeah, 100%.
And just keep in mind, it will not. The total alpha of those torps is about 44,000 dollars. About just under 45,000. So you can't even one-shot most cruisers if they're full health.
Something too is also with that new consumable, what they're adding, the auxiliary and torpedo weaponry consumable coordination. It makes you decide between hydro, which helps you spot torpedoes or ships that are behind islands or in smoke. Or you can have it where it makes it where you have faster ASW recharge for your depth charges, a faster torpedo reload, as well as a extra damage for the secondary batteries as well, and better anti. It makes you get your concentrated anti-air fire progress faster. So you can pick between the two. So if you're playing a certain game mode where you don't need Hydra as much, then you could take that one, or just either or. So overall, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this ship. So it looks really fun to play as of now. Of course, it can be subject to change.
Concealment also looks great. 11.6 lets you get in close and much easier.
So yeah, 11.6 is pretty good. What's the actual secondary range when you build into it all the way? So it's 8.3.
That's a really good start.
Yeah, so 8.3, you build into it here, you do secondary. Let me just build into it. Let me just do this. So here, secondary range is 12.5?
Yeah, it's the same as Sleafin.
Wow, that's actually really good. Okay. Sheesh. Yeah, that's really good. The only downside is the secondaries are more on the stronger on the rear. So you're gonna have to use more angle to use them. But yeah, that's really good. So I'm excited about this ship.
If you've dealt with Le Havre, which is all but secondaries anyways, then I think you're fine. Just remember, this is more of a Le Havre and not a Marseille or a Brest, because these two ships will play very differently and will likely require different captain builds to maximize their effects.
Anti-air is not very good. You do get 8 flat clouds though, which is nice.
Yeah, it's okay.
Maneuverability is fast though, 34.5 knots. That's really good. And the fact that you get a 20% engine boost is going to be really strong. Turning radius is 870 meters. I think that's really good for how big this ship is. You can also build into rudder shift too. The rudder shift is 14.4, which I'm not the biggest fan with. So I may just build into from the stats, what I would probably do is I would build into rudder shift, since if you have the engine boost, it helps your acceleration. So you don't, and as long as you keep above a 4th speed, your acceleration will still be okay. But if you go below that, it's going to suffer a little bit. And like you said, with the 11.5, you said 11.5 kilometer concealment, right, when it's fully built?
11.6, close enough.
11.6. Yeah, that's really good. So this ship overall looks like it's going to be a really fun brawler. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. So far, out of 3 ships, we have two kind of closer range ships and 1 longer range one. So 2 promising potentials so far. So let's move on to the next ship because we still have a lot more to go through. Let's do the La Spezia. So this is a tier 9 Italian cruiser. Let's take a look at the consumables real quick. It gets SAP, AP, torpedoes, aerial ASW. It gets a burst fire, damage control party, a exhaust smoke, a fighter, and a heal. So let's take a look at the ship itself. This is the ship here. Looks very nice, very nice. The good old Italian guns on it look very nice. It's even got Barbiano anti-air guns on there. Very nice addition. All right, so for the armor, it has 25mm bow with a little armor or icebreaker at the bottom for 50mm. At the rear, it has the same 25mm with the little section of 120, 110, and 50 back there, with the deck being 30. The side plating is also 30, and the Citadel protection is 150. The Citadel is definitely above water. So yeah, you don't want to show your broadside to anything, or you're
The Italian special.
Yep, the Italian special, so definitely be careful with that. For the ship itself, it has 44,800 HP with a 22% torpedo protection. Definitely more of like a light medium cruiser vibe. It's not like a heavy cruiser, more like a light cruiser kind of vibe with the HP.
Yeah, it's fairly light for a tier 9.
No, sorry. It's like a heavy cruiser HP. So for
it's still arguably on the smaller end for heavy cruisers.
So going off of that, let's talk about the guns. You have a 14-second reload. You have 8 203mm guns, SAP, AP, and oh wow, these are really fast shells. 1,200 meters per second. That's really fast. With a 18.8 kilometer range. Yeah, that is really fast shells. Okay, so as of now, it looks like it's going to be accurate as well, which would be really nice. It does have a burst fire. It does 2 bursts with a 32.5-second reload. Keep going, sorry.
Yeah, the reason it gets very fast guns is because look at the caliber. It is using 77 caliber guns, which is absurd. Like most ships will top out at probably 60 or even 65 for small guns. But you put a 77 caliber on a 8-inch gun. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's really fast. Secondaries are 7-kilometer range, surprisingly enough. But the dispersion of the secondaries don't look very promising, though. They're 426 meters.
Yeah, that's a definite no.
Yeah. So for torpedoes, you do get 1 per side. As you can see here, 1 on each side there. And it has a 95-second reload, 14,000 damage. They're very slow torps. So they're kind of like you torp and forget kind of torps.
It's the same as the tech tree cruisers in that regard. You throw them out. If they hit, cool. If it doesn't, whatever. You have another ready in 90 seconds.
Yeah, 13.5 kilometer range for the torpedoes are nice as well. So you can kind of throw them away as you're kiting away. So really nice. Airstrikes, you have a 7-kilometer range, which is normal for a tier 9 cruiser. Anti-air, it's the Italian, so 4.6 kilometer range.
Very ew.
Yeah, it kind of just suffers, unfortunately. Maneuverability, 36.7 knots.
Pretty
nice.
good.
730 meter turning rates is also really nice as well. I like that. Really good. Rudder shift is 11.7. That's nice as well. And concealment is 15 base. So if you build 12.2 would be 12.2 is really nice too for the concealment. Like it's not the best. Kind of like, yeah, like it's like average.
It's serviceable, but the problem is the ship is it looks to be explosive given how high the Citadel is. So you really want to be careful.
Yeah, the smoke fire and penalty is 9.7 kilometers too. So it kind of like they made this ship be more like a longer distance ship, not like the Gonzaga. Because the Gonzaga, it has smaller caliber guns, so it can get closer while shooting because it has a smaller smoke fire penalty. This having a 9.7 forces it to stay like 11 through 14, 15 kilometers of ish to be able to not get overwhelmed or spotted.
It's kind of like the other Italian cruisers in that regard. Like Venezia has 9.9 smoke firing penalty, so I don't think it'll be too much of an adjustment.
Okay, all right. So we'll see how this one does during the testing process. All right, let's go on to the Taejong. All right, so this one has a lot of gimmicks, so let's start with that. All right, so let's take a look at the ship real quick. So this is American hull. The guns are... Where are the guns from? Is it from Ohio? I don't remember, like, the second where the guns are from.
That one looks more like the up-tier Taejong, actually.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
The tech tree version's the Taejong,
Okay,
and then
okay.
this is just the up-tier version.
Mm-hmm. So it has 30,000. Let's see, look at the armor. 16 millimeters, not surprised. 16. Singular deck. Yeah, if you get shot at all, 95 millimeter sight, yeah, just don't get shot at, you'll be fine. It's a light cruiser, it's not meant to be tanky.
Don't get shot at, especially don't get shot at by the new Afrodatore.
Yeah, exactly, that thing will just dev strike you. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at its gimmicks real quick. It has HE, 3.5 second reload, 1800 damage, Pens 21, AP is 2100 damage, 808, okay. It gets deep water torpedoes that can only hit cruisers, battleships, and CVs. You depth charges, no ASW planes, and it has a modified shells, so it makes it where it limits the shell gun range to 9 kilometers when active and increases the reload by 114%. So the reload goes from base 3.5 to 7.5. It also gets a damage control party, a heal with a normal cooldown, 8% engine boost, and a 9-kilometer radar for 25 seconds. Okay. I think I know where these are going here. And the torpedoes are, you get 8 per side, and there's 16.5 kilometer range. Ooh, okay. So that's pretty nice. I like that. So if you're on a kiting flank, it does a really good job with torps. Depth charges are okay. They're kind of annoying that they're not aerial. That's going to be kind of painful against subs. Maneuverability is 33 knots. Turning radius is 670. Really good turning radius. Rudder shift is all 7.7, which is really nice. Concealment is 10.2 base, which means that its concealment fully done is going to be 8 point something, which is going to be... That's going to be deadly. It's going to be 8.2.
Yeah, you can stealth radar destroyers.
Yeah, this ship is going to be a monster to fight against as a destroyer because essentially it has a 9-kilometer radar, 8.2 kilometer range of concealment, and you have a modified shell that makes it where your gun range is 9 kilometers, which means that you can essentially make it where when you catch a destroyer, you can activate that and make it where if you kill that destroyer before, like, essentially if you kill the destroyer, you go unspotted. So this is going to be a very high skill level ship, because if you don't kill that destroyer, of course you can run away, right? To where you're able to escape and get outside of your concealment. But if this destroyer is able to live and survive your radar, then you're cooked.
It's gonna be some weird interactions. Yeah, and it's gonna require a very high level skill player in order to make proper use of it. Because remember, this is a Taejong hull, and Taejong likes to explode. This is, in fact, if you take a fight against some destroyers like Elbing, you can still explode to them. You don't have any smoke to save you, so this is just kind of like very glass cannon-y kind of build, kind of ship.
Exactly.
But holy crap, if you don't play your cards correctly, you just go back to port instantly.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, essentially, if you're not paying attention to what ship is in the match, you're cooked. Smoke fire penalty 2 is also 4.32, so if you are using a smoke as cover, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's just like evil at that point. So the reason why it's high risk, high reward is because you have insane rewards once you kill that destroyer. You essentially become a super YY. You have 16.5 deep water torpedoes. No one will outspot you. And you have I think you still have that reload boost. No reload booster. But those insane torp range just lets you oppress anyone that tries to push into you. It's like just GG at that point.
The main counters to this thing is essentially aircraft carriers and submarines, because submarines can dodge the radar while the CVs can just spot you from the air. It does have 10 flat clouds though, so it may be worth to build into the anti-air. And the reason why I say that is because the priority sector 2 is getting changed, and it's actually really good. So I'm pretty interested to see how this goes.
Yeah. That being said, the radar combo against destroyers might be a little bit too oppressive. So I would not be surprised if Wargaming changes that, because that is a it's technically a gimmick, but it's a very, very strong gimmick, and it has potential to accidentally break the game in that regard. So maybe I would not be surprised if there was changes.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next one is going to be the PH. So I'm going to take a look at this one.
Almonde.
Yep, this is going to be a Tier 8 Dutch destroyer. Very nice, very nice.
And since it's a Dutch destroyer, naturally it will have to have airstrikes.
Of course, of course. All right, so let's take a look at it. Sorry, Tier 8. Yeah, I said, yeah, Tier 8 Dutch destroyer. Okay. So let's see. Look at the equipment. It has HE shells, 5-second reload, 120s. It has AP shells. It has 6-kilometer torpedoes. Ugh. 100-second reload. Ugh, that's not good either. HE bombers. Oh yeah, airstrikes. Okay. They are 8-kilometer range. Okay. 6,900 damage for the bombs, 36mm pens. So right around the same as the penetration as the Golden Lou.
Utrecht line.
Yeah.
It should be around the Utrecht line.
Oh yeah,
Golden
Utrecht. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, Utrecht line. Yeah, you're correct. Regular depth charges, 14 in each charge. It gets a DCP. It gets a spoke. Okay.
And does
5-kilometer hydro. What?
Yeah.
Huh? Reload booster and a engine boost.
Yep.
Why does this thing literally just feel like a ZH1 but Dutch and just better?
Because funny enough, this is actually a proper Dutch ship. It's one of the Gerald Kallenberg class destroyers. The ZH1 is basically the German capturing one.
Ah, so true. The Germans tried to take the Dutch power, but they couldn't tame the Dutch power, while this is the true Dutch power. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
nice.
pretty sure ZH1 is a Kallenberg hull. I need to double check.
So the HP is 14,200, which is for the tier is good. Armor it's a destroyer. No armor. Guns are okay. Shell speed's okay as well. Yeah, they're not bad. You get a total of 5 guns. That can be a little bit painful. Well, the gun range is 11.7. That's fine. Like that's all good for the tier. Torpedoes is definitely the most painful thing with a 6-kilometer torps. That's definitely the most painful thing. Airstrikes are 8 kilometers. That's not bad either. Anti-air, yeah, it's literally, yeah, it's just a tier destroyer.
It's what you expect.
Concealment when fully built is going to be, oh, wait, yeah, sorry. Build it here.
It's 6.0.
I'm just gonna build it in the
It's
yeah, exactly 6.0. I mean, for a tier 8, that's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad either.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
You are gonna love it when you get down tier and you can bully other tier 6, tier 7 destroyers. Up tier though, you're gonna have problems when you're fighting tier 10 since you can't outspot them.
Yep. So when this thing attacks, it has 7 aircraft in total, and it has 5 bombs per aircraft. So 35 total bombs, 6,900 damage too. So this thing can really shred tier 8 ships with those bombs. And if you get down tiered, that's also going to shred the lower tier 6s if it gets down tier 2. Oof. Yeah, poor
you
tier 6s.
only get 1 airstrike.
That is true.
One
you only
airstrike
get 1
at a time, so bleh.
Yeah, unless you build into, well, not if you have the legendary commander, then it can do good too. You could probably take the, no, you can't take the Trump build because you actually build more guns on this thing. Maximum speed, 37.5 knots.
Your guns isn't good though, funny enough.
Yeah, 37.5 knots isn't bad. It's pretty good for the tier. 580 meter turn radius is good. Ruddership 3.4 is good. Overall, it just seems like a jack of all trade, like destroyer. It just seems better than ZH, weirdly enough.
If the problem is, I need to do the quick calculations here, but the guns are actually, I don't think they're very good.
You have a reload booster. So that's the only thing that's saving you. If you don't have the reload booster, then it's not going to save you.
Yeah, the DPM on the guns is 105,000. That's worse than Kangaro guns. You need reload booster to really go fight other destroyers. Once it's down, of course, you're kind of cooked. You you do get smoke, so you can do a little bit of farming. It's, hold on, 124-second smoke? Isn't that US smoke?
It is. It does get American smoke, which is really good. And thank you for the 5. Get to BPW. Yeah.
This is definitely more of a support destroyer. Your offense capabilities is not really that great. You only get 1 airstrike. Your guns are average at best, and your you don't and your you only get 1 airstrike, and then your torps are just don't even exist. But if you're playing a division, what you could do is you smoke up your allies. You have Hydro to spot the enemy. You have the main battery loop booster for the occasion that you run into enemy destroyer. And you can airstrike some poor guy that's hiding from your ally because he's being farmed. So yeah, it looks like a really good support destroyer concept.
Yeah, I like it a lot. All right, so the final one we go over is the Tier 10 Pérez. This is the ship here. It's currently in testing. This is the ship that has the support consumables on it. This is a lion hull, right? This is a lion.
Yes, it uses the lion hull.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Armor is 32mm bow. Deck is 32. Sides are 3D1s. Citadel is above water, so... let's see, HP is 68,000, trivial protection is 25%. We have HE, 419s. What kind of shells does it have for the AP? Does it say anywhere or no?
It should be the same as Lion.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean?
Why are they short fuse?
Nope, it's not, I don't think it's available yet.
Okay. Okay, no information. Okay, cool. All right, so ASW is 11-kilometer range, which is good, which is the range for Tier 10, and it has a modified secondary munitions for its combat instruction, where when you reinforce an allied ship with a consumable, it gets 50% to the combat instruction, and when you reinforce your own ship, you get 25%. So there's an incentive to use the combat instructions for your allies. Sorry, use your consumables for your allies. The secondaries are AP. No, it says, wait, is it? No, main battery AP shells and the... Okay, never mind. I got confused for a second. Wait. Okay. It says modified secondary munitions, but it's for main guns. So this isn't for Okay, I get it. Never mind. So it's not for secondary, it's for main gun. That's such a weird name. Modified secondary munitions, and it shows a secondary ship, but it's for main guns?
Yep. Main gun AP damage goes up, but the secondary dispersion goes down.
No. Maximum main battery shell dispersion gets more accurate.
That's what I said.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, it gets more accurate.
So, Wargaming messed up the description then.
Yeah. Yeah, because the secondaries are 8. Okay, is this wrong? Because, like, is this actually wrong or not? Because this doesn't look right. Why would it say modified secondary munition?
It looks like it's trying to refer to the activation requirements is related to consumables, the ones that you use on your allies. So Wargaming messed up the title, because it is, when you think secondaries, you think the guns, not anything else.
It's also the picture. The picture is secondaries.
So if we're lucky, it might be a stand-in or something. Yeah, maybe the intern hasn't had time to give it a proper icon.
Yeah, because if you look at the secondary range, right, it's 8.3 kilometers, which is that's a 12.5 kilometer secondaries. So it looks like it's a potential secondary ship. That's why I was confused. So it looks like what's happening is that the main battery AP shell damage is it's 2 parts. It buffs the AP shells of the main guns as well as make your secondaries more accurate. I think it's supposed to do both. But
I'm looking at the dev block right now.
Yeah, what does the dev block say?
Sorry, let me get to the portion. So it's supposed to last for 50 seconds. Main battery AP shell damage goes up, and main battery dispersion goes down.
Okay, so it's not a Okay, it's not a
No
secondary.
secondaries.
Okay, no secondaries. Okay.
The effects are correct. The title needs to be changed.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, cool. So the combat structure is meant for the main guns. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, cool. So that's good. It makes the ship way more accurate and stronger AP, which is always nice. So I'll take that. not bad.
So, pretty standard ship. The problem is it's used in a Lion hull. And for those who have experiences playing the Lion, there's a lot of problems with her hull.
Mm-hmm.
And just giving her combat instructions and making it support everyone else doesn't exactly fix that problem.
Yeah, so let's keep going with this. So for the airstrikes, it gets 11-kilometer range for the aerial, like for the aerial depth charges. Anti-air is 3 point. Funny enough, the close range is actually really good, like 3.5 kilometers. But
Hmm.
if anything does get in there, it's going to hurt a lot. But other than that, it's not going to be very good. The rest of the anti-air is pretty bad. Ship speed is 29.5 knots. Turning radius is good for the tier. Rudder shift is fine for the tier. Conceal is 15.4, which when fully built goes to about 12.6 something ish, 12.5 ish. So it
Yep,
seems
sounds about right.
it feels like this ship could be built partially into secondaries SAT, because if you think about it, it has 12.5
Do you
second.
want to?
Well, I mean, from what the stats are telling us, right? The stats are telling us that the range of the secondaries are 12.5. The stats are also telling us the consumer is 12.6. So it's giving you hints that the build, like the ship is built toward secondaries as well as like guns. It's like a combo, right? It's trying to hint at a potential hybrid build, and then you're able to use these 3 consumables to help keep you alive and your allies. So let's take a look at these new consumables, or
I'm
you can give your
not
allies.
convinced. I'm looking at the secondary dispersion. For the secondary dispersion, it's base. It is the same terrible secondary dispersion as your standard battleship.
Yeah.
It only has range going for it, so unless Wargaming changes that, I don't think it'll be a good secondary ship
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, that's why I'm like confused, right? It's like when Gibraltar first came out, not came out, but it's when it went into testing. It was kind of confusing on what they were wanting from it, and when they released it, it was still kind of confusing on what role they were trying to put. It's like a mixed role, which is really weird. So I'm confused if they're doing the same thing with this one potentially, but
I just ignore that for
yeah.
now. It might have just been leftover Pan America battleship flavor.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Okay, so let's look at the consumables. So you get a gun crew assistance, which buffs your reload by 12% for you, or like, because you can pick it for yourself or for your ally. It lasts for 30 seconds, has a cooldown of 3 minutes. You have another one where it does 12% reload buff, secondary reload time by 15%, and better anti by 15%. That also lasts 30 seconds. And these ranges are 15 kilometers. So you can launch them at allies that are 15 kilometers away from you.
Essentially the same flank as you.
Okay, so the last one is emergency crew assistance. This gives ship HP per second is plus 0.33%, and it makes it where consumable preparation and cooldown time is faster by 15%, and that lasts for 30 seconds. So overall, you have a consumable that makes your main guns faster reload, it makes your secondary armaments faster reload, and then it makes your ship being able to be tankier by giving it a heal, as well as making your consumables faster cooldown. So overall,
So
these consumables are very useful for your allies to help keep them alive. So say like a destroyer takes a lot of damage early on, you can use this heal on him to help him be able to get some health back. Or you say you have like a secondary ship that's starting to push in, you could put the auxiliary torpedo armament to help him out to be able to push in, stuff like that.
okay, so to give a reference for these values, the gun crew assistance will essentially give you a main battery armament mod 6. It gives you the slot 6 armament for free.
Yep.
So the second one, auxiliary and torpedo armament assistance, it's the same as auxiliary mod in slot 6. And then combined with a bit of torp reload as well. Not quite the same level as the torpedo armament in slot 6, but close enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, engineering crew assistance gives you a 10% heal. Think of it as the same as daring, kind of a nerfed heal, but a nerfed heal is still better than no heal.
Exactly. But yeah, overall, I'm really interested to see how these consumables, everything work out. I do wish that with these consumables, because I did ask them this question, and at the time of this video, as of now, there is no XP being given for giving an ally a consumable, even though it does help with your combat instruction. We also have other classes like the CVs are also getting these kind of consumables too, to be able to help allies with like heals with like the Audacious line, as well as the Germans and the what was the other one? It was the Germans and the Japanese are getting the fire put out crew. They need to make it where those kind of consumables or those team play mechanics are rewarded base XP wise. Like same with like smoking up your allies, right? If they're in your smoke and they're firing in smoke, you should be rewarded for them farming in your smoke. For them staying in your smoke, you should get a reward and for XP wise. And I think that these team play mechanics need to be implemented in the base XP pool to help promote team play in the game as an overall thing. Because why would you want to play as a team when you don't get rewarded for playing like a team? Think of like Overwatch, think of Valorant, think of other games where supports don't really do as much damage, but but they do a lot of healing and boosting for their tanks and DPMs, and they can still come up on top on their team because they are essentially carrying the team with their support. So I think that if Wargaming started doing that, it would help push players to be able to do more support roles rather where they're not able to do that. So I'm hoping they in the future. I leave a lot of feedback with them on that one to help promote team play in the game, because as of right now, it's not really worth to do team play besides winning a match and
or divisions.
Yeah, exactly, or divisions. So we'll have to see. But yeah, again though, let me know what you guys think of all the test ships. We looked at the Frederick and the Dautron in the different videos, so you guys can look that one up yourselves. But yeah, again, they did also hint, or they didn't hint, they accidentally leaked that the
New Jersey
is going to be in the holiday convoy event. We don't know when, but it's going to be probably later in the holiday event, not right away. So probably around November or December is my rough guess. Around 15.11 is just probably the plan, but we'll see. Because they haven't even announced the ship at all anywhere, as in like any information on it. We just know it exists. And now we know that it exists in the holiday convoy event. So let me know what you guys think overall, and let me know what ships you guys are excited in or not. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you.